Hey everyone, One Piece episode 945 aired today. This is one of the episodes that most of the manga readers, especially, have been waiting for a real long time. Olin versus Queen. We've been waiting for this episode for a long time, ever since we read this in the manga last year. Now, the main question is, did this episode deliver on the promises, deliver on the expectations? We'll have to go through that one by one. Now, I have my first impressions on the video. I watched it two times already, and I really loved the animation quality. I loved the flow. The pacing was really good. But we'll have to dissect the episode a little bit more to see if it actually meets expectations. Now, let's start with saying that this was a very well-paced anime episode. The last episode had a lot of issues where people were complaining about the anime only adapting like probably 6 pages of the last chapter. But this episode is not like that. This episode adapts 946, the chapter 946, the entire episode, the entire chapter. So you can't really complain about the pacing in this episode. They covered an entire chapter in this episode, so it's pretty good regarding that. But it starts off where we left off in the previous episode, where Big Mom slam dunks Queen, and then we proceed to her torturing him again. And then she does her thing, classic Big Mom, rolls him around, brute power, and then slams him away, and then pretty much takes him out. Now, those are all something that anyone would expect Big Mom to do because that's her thing. She's brute power, she's a Yonko, and all that stuff, good stuff. Everyone expects that. But here's the thing. Big Mom is actually not at her strength. This is not Big Mom who did this. This is Olin. That's a really important thing to understand. Now, in this anime episode, they did add a lot of fillers, and it was very interesting to see Queen actually try to do something. Because we all know in the manga, he barely does anything. I mean, Big Mom pretty much takes him out in 2 hits. He doesn't get a chance to attack. But in the anime, they did give him an attack. So he does do almost what he's supposed to do. We know what he's going to do. So he jumps up and he lands on her, but she catches him and then she holds him in place for a while, and then she does her thing. Now that was pretty interesting to see Queen do something and her hold her own. But other than that, it was the classic Big Mom slam dunk thing, the one thing you expect from her. And you have to understand that at this point, Big Mom doesn't have her memory, she doesn't know how to use her devil fruit, and she doesn't have her haki. She doesn't remember how to use her haki. So this is Olin that did this damage. Olin was the one who took out Queen in 2 hits. Now it was in the anime, they pretty much confirmed that Queen actually was knocked out clean. So there is no more debate that was Queen knocked out or was he just acting, because as we'll see a little bit moving forward, they did change a little bit in the anime compared to the manga. They did forget to adapt a few very minor scenes that we'll have to go over. Let's start with Queen. Like, Queen actually does get knocked out, and even in the manga, almost all the fodders, they scream out that Queen was taken out in 2 hits. So that's not even up for debate. Big Mom did defeat Queen in 2 hits, but he does recover his memory or his consciousness a little bit later. But on the manga, in the anime, however, he still hasn't regained his memory yet. There is a panel in the manga where Queen actually is lying down, and he's the one who recognizes that Luffy is the one who ate the Oshiruko. So he wonders to himself, I'll put the panel in the video here. So Queen actually does get his consciousness back, and he should, because he is a herbivore ancient Zoan. And if there's one thing good about ancient Zoans, they have the highest durability, the highest recovery in the entire verse, so he shouldn't completely be done for. He does recover, and that's one point to note. There's another scene where they omitted it, where while Big Mom is trying to destroy Luffy, the fodder characters from the Beast Pirates, they yell out to Big Mom saying that they'll offer her Luffy's head if they let them live. But of course, Big Mom doesn't care about all that. She is only interested in the Oshiruko, and she slams a rock on them. So that scene was also a little bit omitted. And there was another small scene as well where she remembers her time in the village with Otsuru, and in that village there's a small scene where the Otsuru talks about the hair. Big Mom's styling Big Mom's hair into the traditional Oiran style that she's having it now, and they say that this hair suits you, Olin. So for some reason that was actually removed as well. You can see the ladder and someone trying to style her hair in that panel as well. So that was omitted, and they put the flashback of what we already saw, her eating the Oshiruko instead. Budgeting problems probably, or they just didn't have the time to animate that. So there's that one that's missing. Other than that, everything was beautifully done. Every single panel was covered and everything was done well. Now, I should say that I am a little bit disappointed with some of the things. I mean, everything else was good, but there are some things that the anime didn't do well. Let's start with the first one. The first one is the classic thing that always One Piece anime always struggles with, which is the model. The character model for Big Mom is completely inconsistent. Like most of the time, she just barely looks like a pink blob. Her chin is missing. I mean, we know that the animation studio can do a better job because they have done it in the past. In the previous episode, Big Mom was perfectly fine. She looked perfectly on point with the model, her character model. But right now, she looks completely different in different angles, and her mouth is out of place, her face is out of proportion, her legs, everything is completely different from what we can see in the manga. So that's something that One Piece always struggles with. And the next thing is the animation is also pretty choppy at some points, especially in the fight scenes. The animation is very, very chunky and choppy. It's not very smooth transition. They probably will definitely fix it in the Blu-ray version of it. I'm expecting that to happen. But right now, it's not the perfect quality that we want. Another thing is that I have very high expectations for this fight with Big Mom because this is her actual proper fight in a long time. I mean, she barely ever had a fight with someone. She was just rampaging around the whole time anyway. But I was expecting something on the level of Kaido, Dragon Kaido versus Luffy. That was like a high level, movie level animation quality, and this one doesn't even come close to that. The animation is not that great. It's good, but it's not nowhere near the quality of Kaido versus Luffy. That's something that's really disappointing. I mean, this was one Big Mom's chance to shine. This is a moment, and she didn't actually shine all that much. But other than that, everything else is fine. The episode is a really solid episode. They covered an entire chapter smoothly. All the details were there. Nothing else was missed except a couple of really minor scenes that that doesn't matter really. Everything else was good. Luffy again, being the little dumbass he is, he just blabbers out that he ate the Oshiruko, but that's what we love about Luffy. He's honest. He's a little lovable lug. And the chapter ends with the anime ends with the same cliffhanger as the manga, and we'll see whether Luffy can block Big Mom. We'll see if he has actually trained. So 9:45 was a pretty nice episode to come forward to. I am really looking forward to the next episode to see how well it's animated. Based on the preview, it does look really good, so let's not get our hopes too high, but I do have some expectations. Other than that, this was a really good episode, and I would probably give it maybe a 4. That's a maximum you can give it. I mean, the animation was not on point with Kaido versus Luffy. If it was, this is a solid 5 out of 5, but right now, the maximum you can give it like a 3.8 or a 4 out of 5. So, yeah, the episode was nice and decent. Anyway, we'll look forward to the next one, and I'll see you then. Thank you for watching. Bye.